There you go.
See, my price is dealing even dollars.
Yeah, there's none of this $9.95 stuff.
I don't even collect tax. Well, I suppose you want me to go to work now. Okay. I've never been over there to see that. Next, we'll take a small handful of straw and we'll divide it in half. And we'll put those smaller portions of straw on either side of the handle to give the broom its width. And we'll take another small handful of straw and we'll divide it in half. This time we'll put the straw on the broom backwards. How else would you sweep the floor and the ceiling at the same time?
There you go.
Now we'll put a couple of staples around the wire so the wire doesn't slide out. Backward straw and we'll turn it back the other way. And this gives the broom its shoulders. We'll take straw in this other pile, which is the same straw, except it's just 2 inches longer than what we've been using. We'll put this straw on the broom to become the cover coat, to cover up the staples and the wire and the turn back. Put the broom in the clamp so that we can sew it. And when we sew, we use a double-pointed needle that we thread in the center. Because of the double point, we wear thimbles on the palm of our hand. Now we'll go around the broom with the string twice, go under both strings with the needle, put a half hitch around the end of the needle, and back through the broom, and snug it up tight. This equipment that I am using came from Indiana In the year 1880, it was brought out here by an early settler and his family who settled near Bloomington, Nebraska, a small town 30 miles to our southwest. He and his family raised broom corn, made brooms, and they peddled the brooms up and down the Republican River Valley, selling them from their wagon. When we get to the last stitch in the broom, we go through the broom at an angle with the needle, pull the ends up tight, and cut them off. When Mr. Warp, the founder of Pioneer Village, purchased the old Bloomington land office, this equipment was in the land office. So he purchased it at the same time and brought it out here to the village. The owner of the broom equipment at that time came up here and taught someone how to make brooms. So there has been a broom maker here at the village ever since, showing people how brooms were made 100 years ago. Mr. Warp was 87 years of age last December, and he lives in Chicago part of the time. However, he does come out to Minden once every month, and he'll spend 2 to 3 days here at the village before returning home. He left Minden in 1924, going to Chicago, where he started manufacturing Warp's Flexoglass, and from Flexoglass into the manufacturing of clear plastics and other plastic materials after World War II. There is a display down at the west end of this building showing some of the products that they manufacture in the Warp factories in Chicago. We'll comb the broom out. And you move the fingers back and trim it off.
Yeah, you do.
We are using broom straw, which is a natural fiber for making our brooms. And the straw that we're using in here today is all grown and produced in Mexico because of the hand labor. It's not grown commercially in the States any longer. Broom straw comes from the broom corn plant. Now, broom corn does not have any air on it. Broom corn is in the sorghum family, the same as sugarcane, Sudan grass, and milo. When the seeds at the top of the plant are blooming, they go down between 2 rows of broom corn and they break and table it, folding 2 rows across itself. Then they come along and either cut or pull the heads out of the boot, take it up to a shed and let it dry. After it's dried, they hand thrash it by holding the heads over a rotating drum that's got teeth in it to knock the seeds out. There's only about 8% of the seed that will be viable. The rest of the seed, there's nothing but a hull, because you broke the plant when it was blooming. You shut off the moisture and the nutrients, and the balance of the seed did not fill. The plant is very hard and tough. It's low in nutrition, so there's nothing for livestock but filler. They turn the cattle out to the field and let them forage what they can and plow the rest under. We make a camper broom, which has about a 5-inch longer handle than the doll broom beside it, the ordinary whisk broom, and these we call the Christmas broom because of their color. The red, the green, and the black straw in the mantle broom, we purchased that straw already dyed. This is a cake tester. Back in the days when my grandmother would bake a cake, she would always take a straw out of the old house broom to check the cake to see if it was done. The same as you do a toothpick today. But only God knew where that broom had been used last. For they only had one broom on the farm, and they used it in all of the buildings, and they did raise livestock. So with the cake tester, you put a straw between the 2 fingers, insert it in the cake, same as you do a toothpick. When it comes out wet, you bake longer. Comes out dry, the cake is done. You wash off the straw and fold it back in, use it another day, and save the toothpicks for what they were designed for. That's the last straw.